Thank you very much, Chris. The field continues to load. The horse who has the flair for the dramatic Awad is in the gate, completing the star field of 8. And they're off in the Caesars International 96. Sandpit jumps right out there for the lead. Diplomatic Jet on the outside, also 4 just near the front. On the outside, Northern Spur showing new tactics is going up and after the lead. And it's Northern Spur over the Atlantic City grass stage the first time with a hit to the good, moving by the line the first time. Diplomatic Jet on the inside is holding second. Stalking those two out of the claiming ranks, Polaris Star. Then it's Up Smile, going to be 4 wide. Now Whitley tries to dive in. Sandpit following the tracks that led him to victory last year as they move around the clubhouse turn. They continue around the turn, and then it's a 1.5 break and a ground-saving Mekki. Pace appears to be very slow. They're racing in between them is Lassigny, and 3 wide is Awad. First quarter in an absolutely methodical 25-3. It's even slower than that on a half of 50 1/5. They are crawling up the backstretch, and on the lead slightly is Diplomatic Jet. Right at his throat is Northern Spur. Racking those two in third is Polaris Star. On the outside, it's Up Smile. Sandpit now has to get closer at the hedge. Then comes Awad, who's going to need a strong stretch kick under these slow fractions, need yeoman's work. Then comes Lassigny on the inside, and 2 more lengths to Mekki. They went 3 quarters in 14-2. Pace picks up just a little. It's still very slow. And it's Diplomatic Jet clinging to a side hope. On the outside, Northern Spur's been sticking with him. They train 3,000 miles apart, and inches separate them on the turn. Here comes Up Smile. Sandpit screaming out for racing room and will try to take the hedge. They're into the home stretch. The door is wide open. It's Diplomatic Jet hanging on to a perilously thin lead. Northern Spur. Here comes defending champion Sandpit. Up the hedge, and it found the wedge at the hedge, and it's deja vu all over again. Sandpit, lightning strikes again. He takes the Caesars 96. Diplomatic Jet was second, and Northern Spur held on for third. He did it again. If Caesars is the name, Sandpit's the winner. The glowing chestnut in all its majestic brilliance, defending his championship. Sierra Thoroughbreds, number 1.
The horses for the 8th race, the Grade 2, $150,000 added San Marcos Handicap, now coming onto the track. And now here's the field for this afternoon's Grade 2 San Marcos Handicap. Number 1, Marlin. Owned by Mike Tabor and trained by D. Wayne Lucas, Marlin has been ridden by Gary Stevens. Number 2 is Bedivere. He's owned by Hudson and Lunsford. He's trained by Phil Gleaves and riding... The horses, 7 now, reaches starting gate. Facing up to the gate now for the San Marcos. Marlin goes into the inside gate. Sandpit is in. River Deep. Bedivere in the black cap. Rain Trap on the far side. Don't Blame Rio going in. Golden Steel second last. Well-behaved field. They're loading quickly. And Shanawi to come to the outside gate.
On back here. Got a lead up on him, boss.
Goes in. They're all set. Field for the San Marcos sent on their way to a perfect beginning. Bedivere along the inside gets the early lead. Don't Blame Rio is right there. On the outside of those two comes Sandpit with a white face, been forced to go wide, even bumped wider here, as Don't Blame Rio didn't take the turn too well. Going up to join the leading group now is Golden Steel in the white blinkers. He's pulling his way up between horses, and here's Marlin tucked in fourth just behind the leaders. Then we drop back to Rain Trap. Alongside of him River Deep, and Shanawi is last. Past the stands first time round, and Sandpit keeping the pressure on Bedivere up front. They lead a length and a half to Golden Steel. Marlin has the perfect spot, scraping the paint in third, just a length and a half off the leaders. Don't Blame Rio trying to settle down after that erratic beginning is racing back in fifth. They followed then by Rain Trap, who's third last, and 8 off the leaders. River Deep races outside of him, and 2 back to Shanawi. They run to the three-quarter pole in the San Marcos, and Bedivere the leader. Right up alongside is Sandpit, and Marlin just cantering along in third, a length and a quarter off the leaders. Golden Steel in the white cap on his outside. Then we come back to Don't Blame Rio. Rain Trap down at the rail is moving up a little closer, and River Deep between horses is 6 off them, and then 2 back to Shanawi. A half mile to go in the San Marcos, and Sandpit on the outside. Corey Nakatani takes a look back to survey the opposition. Bedivere racing on his inside. Marlin is still right there in third, and Golden Steel outside of him. Then Don't Blame Rio. Rain Trap at the rail. River Deep looking for somewhere to run has now got up fifth, and even Shanawi's getting involved from last. This one's compact at the top of the lane. Bedivere. Sandpit goes on, and Sandpit strong on the lead. Kicks on. Marlin suddenly's got a quick from there. River Deep is running on well, and so is Shanawi. Bedivere at the rail. Sandpit between them. River Deep on the outside. Marlin and Shanawi. But it's Sandpit in front with 50 to go. Marlin coming late at him. Sandpit, Marlin. Sandpit all hot on the lead. And Sandpit goes on to win close for second. Looked like River Deep touched off Marlin.